I gotta keep the faith. This time we gon' really do it for the black race. This time we gon' really do it for the black race. This time we gon' really do it, seek a better way.
How you doing, folks? I am King George. I am the owner of T.Y.I Productions and the curator of Black 31 magazine. I am here today with the remarkable woman. I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Lawanda Horton-Sauter. I'm the president and CEO of Mission Incorporated, also known as Real Mission Inc. And it's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, yes, yes. So you already know T.Y.I Productions. We present Black 31 magazine. This is our number 6 interview. Lawanda Horton, Real Mission Inc. Tell us about Real Mission Inc. and what is it accomplishing for the community, and what is Real Mission Inc.?
Yeah, so Real Mission Inc. is a consulting firm that helps start, grow, and find funding for nonprofit organizations and community activist projects. We do some work with small businesses around filing their LLCs or connecting them to who they need to establish trademarks.
Yes.
But really a lot of our work is around just taking communities of color and empowering them with the business knowledge, the business know-how, the skills, the development that they need in order to be competitive with more mainstream businesses and organizations.
Yes, I like that. I like that. Do you have? Is there any specific businesses in the community that you help out?
Yeah, we have a lot of clients. So we've been around since 2008, and we have about 300 plus organizations that we've formed in the city of Philadelphia that we've provided grant writing support to or established their 501c3 or the LLC. Most notably, like we have an organization, Why Not Prosper, that was started by Reverend Michelle Simmons, and she was incarcerated. And when she came out of incarceration, she approached us because she wanted to provide a house for the other women she met in there when they come out. So we helped her with writing her first grant application, and since then she now has 4 different locations. She's opening up a new one in Harrisburg right now. She has millions of dollars in her operating budget. We also were the company that filed a trademark and did all the big business paperwork for Sawed.
Wow.
Sawed, you know, Sawed, who has the restaurant in Philly, and she was very like a social media influencer. Did the big proms with the panther, the prom.
Yes, yes.
Her stuff is currently in the grocery stores, and we were the ones who helped her establish a trademark and stuff for that.
Yes.
But we have a lot of clients, a lot of organizations we work with, a lot of elected officials we work with on helping their constituents.
Yes.
So there's just so many, some new, some old, real old ones that we're thinking about no longer being around.
Yes.
We've done advising and consulting for Shakespeare in Clark Park out in West Philly. So there's like a lot of organizations here that we've tapped in with and that we've done work with.
Wow, that's incredible. Y'all hear that? That is incredible. Now I noticed you mentioned grant writing. What is that process like of grant writing?
Yeah, so before we write proposals for anyone, we want to sit down with them and do what is called like a guided facilitation. So we have a process that we take them through to make them think about 101 things before they apply for that grant, because when it comes time to write the grant, they're going to ask us some really hard questions that we need to be able to answer thoroughly and easily. And so it's not as easy as people think. Like if you're going to get into the grants game, you want to have a strategy for that, or you're going to waste a lot of time and energy writing proposals that just keep getting rejected. So we take them through that process. There's easier ways to get funding faster that aren't grant related. Sometimes the grant process itself, you got to write the proposal, then you have to wait 6 to 8 months for them to review it. Then you got to wait another 6 to 8 months to actually get your check. So it's like, and some grants actually require that you get reimbursed, so you have to have the money already in your account. And like most people are like, if I already have the money, then I wouldn't need the grant. So it's kind of like navigating that process is part of what we do.
Yes. Now, I know it's the difference between grants and loans, business loans. Now, can you tell the people what's the difference between a business grant and a business loan?
Yeah. So business loans are the major difference is that a business loan has to be paid back, right?
Yes.
A grant is money that is given that's been allocated for whatever purpose, and you don't have to pay that back, which is why it's very attractive to people.
Yes.
But it's also difficult to do. I mean, it's difficult to do that. It's difficult to get a loan, like a lot of us know, especially in communities of color, how many barriers there are to actually getting loans. You'd be in some ways almost better off like getting a loan, because a loan is going to be maybe a little bit easier for some people to get, depending upon your financial situation. A loan might be a bit easier to get than a grant, just because grants are highly competitive. Like, if you're going after free money, everyone else is going after that free money too, and there's only a certain amount of money that one can access.
Yes.
So a part of what we do is get people in position to where their grant application can look good enough that they could be highly considered.
Okay.
Right? We make it hard for them to say no.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's love. To get into, because I noticed some things about you. I know in the beginning we mentioned the Remarkable Woman.
Mm-hmm.
What was that whole experience about Remarkable Woman? How did it even start? How did that even come about?
Yeah. So, Remarkable Woman is, my PHL has a contest each year where they look for 4 women from Philadelphia to represent. Ultimately, one of them will represent Philadelphia nationally. And they're looking for women who are just doing things in the community. And I was nominated, and I think that I was nominated at the time because, I exhaust myself. Every single day of my life is like running the streets, doing all these different things. And I think, like, my sister was staying with me at the time, and she's visiting from like Florida, and like she had mentioned to me, like, I've been watching you since I've been here. And she's like, you come home at night, you're just like, it's time for you to make your dinner, and you just look like you're just, drained. Like, and nobody sees or knows this about you. They don't know what it's like to actually be you, what it's like to go through what you go through on a daily basis. Sometimes you're having to deal with ungrateful people all day on the phone and stuff, and like, but yet you still like get up and do it all like the next day, right? So I think for my PHL, that's what a remarkable woman is that she just keeps going in spite of all obstacles. And so when I got the call for Remarkable Woman, I was in the car with my guy, Pete Rose from Spill Entertainment, and he was about to go into the store or something, and they called me while I was in the car, but you're not supposed to say nothing when you find out that you're it, because they got to do the whole TV thing and stuff. But like, I had to let him know, like, because I'm in the car hype, like, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm like screaming, and so I let him know what was going on or whatever. I told him he's like, I made him a vow of silence, right? And it was just really surreal to have them take me out to Hollywood, like, for me to get my own Walk of Fame star, physically certified Walk of Fame star, not on the ground. I didn't win no Oscars, but you cannot get one of those made by the person who makes the ones on the ground. You cannot get one of those even if you're a celebrity. Like, you have to win. You have to be chosen by them and be an Oscar-winning whatever. So for this 2023 class of Remarkable Women to be honored with this once-in-a-lifetime, like, rare artifact, basically. Like, at some point, that thing's going to be worth money. And it has my name on it.
Absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
Lawanda Horton right across it. So, that was just really crazy. Like, Wolfgang Puck catered our reception. I mean, they had us walk the red carpet. We were followed by paparazzi. It was...
Wow.
The whole thing was just really surreal. And, it was just an honor, like, to represent Philly, because I'm not even from Philadelphia. but I've been here. I have roots now.
Yes.
I've been here about the same amount of time as I've been in New York, like half my life.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
so at this point, I feel like I'm like a hybrid. I'm like half New York, half Philly girl, or whatever. Like a centaur. You know what I mean? The top part is human, the bottom part Taurus. So like, you know, I felt like for Philly too to stamp me, right? Because even when people found out, there wasn't a lot of objections. It was like, all right, we'll take that. It's okay, because they know like I've been rooted in this community, you know, for so many years, and the work that I did, it never got made or paid, or you know what I mean. I never got put on, and a lot of the stuff was under the radar. So it's like they were like, nah, she's thorough, she's legit, she's sturdy, she's stamped, and she can go and represent us, you know. Even though she's not from here. You know, Philly could be very particular about that type of thing. You gotta let them know what high school you went to. So yeah, like, it was just an honor to be able to do that. And you know, I love me some Philadelphia and some Germantown.
Philly, Germantown.
And Logan. I'm Logan's little niece now.
You already know it. And shout out to Uncle Bobby's, because that's where we at right now. Shout out to Uncle Bobby's. One
of my spots in Germantown.
They got some of the greatest books, y'all. The greatest books.
Yeah, and black books.
Absolutely, black books for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is a quick question. How did you enjoy your feature in Black 31 magazine?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like, you know, it's not everywhere that you get a feature, right, and the person keeps posting about you. I'm like, here I go again. Like, it's nice to see it's nice to see somebody recognize you. And I also noticed, like, one thing about you and about Black 31 is, like, your respect for black women. And that's very important to me, too. Because we do have, like, I don't know, it's like a little trend going on right now of like black men like really saying like really sideways things about black women as a whole, and I know our society has a lot of issues right now, like men are behaving a certain way, women are behaving a certain way, but I think it's equal parts, and I think that they're related to each other, and that one is creating the other, you know, and it's a back and forth, but for me to see you, you know, honoring and elevating black women the way that you do, I think there's a lot of black men that can really learn from you and how you move, and it's just appreciated, like, on behalf of, like, you know, black women, just like really appreciate it.
I appreciate you. I feel like in the communities, as always, we came so much to a misunderstanding as man and woman. And we got to get back to understanding the man and woman. And that's how we understand each other as black people.
Yeah. And I really would like to see us in general not be focused on the wrong things. Like, you know, I get it. People have their beliefs, right, in life. But I want to see us all live in autonomy, like all live in freedom. So, like, I know that a lot of times in our community there's a lot of sexism, there's a lot of, you know, really strong ideas about other races or strong ideas about other, you know, orientations or whatever. And I just feel like we have so much of our own work to do, like, just as individuals, that, like, the focus on everyone else and the impact and the power that I call it the peanut gallery.
Yes.
The power of the peanut gallery right now is at a dangerous level, I think.
Yes.
It has our young women thinking that they need to be sexual in order to be respected. It has our young men thinking that they need to be violent in order to be respected. And just like, I just want to see us all like deal with our shadow, deal with our dark side. It's the avoidance, in my opinion, it's the avoidance of our shit that makes us focus on everyone else's shit first.
Absolutely.
So like, I had to say that on your show because, like, I witness a lot of shows where there's all this emphasis. I never thought about somebody else's like private parts or sexual like behavior. Like, who thinks about this? There's something in my mind. There's something wrong with someone who sees two people and immediately imagines them doing sexual acts.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, that's what's abnormal. So, and I don't need to make it about that, but it's just like kind of like our social media right now is everybody feels like they have to jump in the comments and immediately say something that's smart or funny or hurtful in order to receive a like. And it's to the degradation, I think, of our society that we feel like we have to do that in order to, we have to make someone else come down in order to make ourselves come up. So that's something I've been observing and just wanting to be, it's about how you move, it's about the example that you set. Right. So when I'm out here, I'm just showing everybody love and respect until they give me a raise and cocktail.
Absolutely.
You hear that, y'all? Love and respect always. Love and respect always. This is something I want to veer away from the business. I want to get a little bit more into you personally.
Okay.
Recently, I seen you doing music, and I was shocked. I said, "Oh, the MC, Miss Lawanda, the MC. Where did that come from, and how did that even come about?" I was unaware.
Yeah. So what a lot of people in Philadelphia don't know is that I was soft-spoken, the rapper, before I was Mission Inc., a businesswoman, an academic, anything. So back in like 1991, I was 14 years old, and I opened up for Naughty by Nature, Grand Puba, Onyx, the Fushnikins, Queen Latifah. I'm from New York. I'm from the part of New York that a lot of them are from. Latifah, Jada, all of them are from the area where I grew up. So we were contemporaries, right? And like I was in high school, I was rapping. I was probably at that time in New York one of the only young, like female rappers. Cause you had MC Light, you had B.L.A.C.K, you had all of them, but they were like older. So I was rapping, but they were wanting me to go and do shows at like 3 and 4 o'clock in the morning when I was still in school, and my grandmother was like, she's from the deep south, so like, nah, that wasn't gonna be maintained. She thought it was cute like the one show, but then when I was in limos and going and stuff, she was like, nah, we not doing this. So that's when I had a career change, right? And ultimately what happened was I was very active as a young kid in, like, I used to write letters to my newspaper in my, where I grew up, and I would complain about all different types of things. So I was always like a little activist, right?
Yes.
When I graduated from high school, I wanted to go to college so that I could come back to my hometown and become the mayor, right? And this was like my thought, like as a teen, 17, 18 years old. So I went away to college, but once I got there, I got high, smoked a weed, and me and my friends were joking about me auditioning for a play that I just knew I was not getting the part. So I went up there all like, zooted, and the next day when I went to go look at the list, I had the main role, which I did not expect and did not plan for. I was like, no, y'all really gotta I can't do this. I was like, that was just a joke. Please don't give me this role. I've never done this before. They were like, no, you gotta, like, you know how many other people wanted that part? Like, you got it, and you gotta do it now. So I was in my first play in college called I Ain't Your Uncle, and I fell in love with the theater. So I changed my major from political science to theater and graduated with a bachelor's in theater. So that artistic side of me, like, carried on through, college, like, and that's what I ultimately got my degree in. I'm gonna make a return to the theater. I'm gonna make a return directing. I studied theater history, so I'm a theater historian. So I could tell you about theater from all over the world. And I want to bring some of that knowledge to Philly and put a spin on classic plays with all black casts and things like that. So That's gonna be my retirement. That's my final act. I think is gonna be my retirement project to come back to the theater.
You know, if you ever need a writer, you
Yeah.
Musically, who is your favorite female inspirations? MCs.
Female. Oh, they got the MCs though.
Yes.
Okay, then I gotta say Remy Ma. Like I'm a huge Remy Ma. I feel like Remy Ma and I feel like Papoose is like one of the most underrated rappers ever. Males, Wale, another underrated artist. Those are people I rock with. You asked me about MC, but I am the #1 Erykah Badu fan. Like I thought I was her in the '90s. I used to dress like her and everything. I like actually cried at one of her concerts. Like I'm talking like white girl Michael Jackson too. Remember back when the Michael Jackson used to perform, the white girls used to be there crying. That's how I was at the Erykah Badu concert. So like I really rock with Erykah. You know, just like I love me some Jada Kiss. Like I'm very New York. I'm very New York. As far as like Philly rappers like Black Thought, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like the cerebral John, you know what I mean? Like I do like some ratchet stuff too.
Okay.
And I like ratchet stuff. I like popular stuff. Like the more ridiculous the rap line, like if it makes me giggle, cause like who would say that? You know what I'm saying? Like I like rap lyrics that are like that. And then also I'm just gonna tell you locally, I really rock with some of the people I met down at Blockware. There's a few artists that I've been tapped into lately that just for very different reasons. Absolutely. I just like their flow. Okay. Shout out Kane Black. Kane Black is dope.
Yo, Kane Black is tight. I've been to his show when he performed at Dob. Shout out to Kane.
Yeah. Kane Black is dope. Ace the Chemist is a good rapper.
Ace is cool too. Yeah.
Son of 215 is good. He's got a real commercial appeal to him.
Impeccable energy. Energy phenomenal.
OBH Razor, because he just has OBH Razor has a very Killer Kells. Oh my goodness, Killer Kells. So there's like different people that are in the mix or whatever whose stuff I really have been enjoying.
Favorite
lately.
male MCs of all times.
All time?
Yes.
Male.
Favorite at least five. Top 5.
Okay, so top 5, I don't even know if I could say 5 to be honest, because I'm more like, I'm not a huge, like I like to be sturdy, stable. I'm definitely putting Pac up there. I gotta put Papoose up there because the Alphabetical Slaughter by itself to me was like when he did Alphabetical Slaughter, he did it A to Z and then he did it Z to A.
That was crazy. I ain't even gonna lie.
That's skill. I look for certain types of things because I'm an intellectual. Again, I would say Black Thought's probably up there.
That's one of my favorites.
And the same, you know, I gotta say Jada's definitely in my top. Jada's definitely in my top 5.
Absolutely.
Who else would I say? I mean, it depends.
Any older rappers? That's what some of your top favorites?
I love the Locks, but that's a group.
Yeah.
I really fuck with Onyx.
Onyx.
Like when I was a teenager, like Onyx used to get me home from school because there would be girls trying to pick on me and stuff, and I would have my headphones on and I would rock the Onyx, and at any minute a bitch could have got it because I was like hype off the Onyx. I used to be a real big Onyx fan.
Shut them down.
So like, I'm a B-boy, you know what I'm saying? Like I just like would go crazy over that. Who else do I like? I don't know. It's like so many. I'm not gonna say anybody good because I know everybody's like so disappointed. I'm not thinking about who, but like just certain people I like.
No Biggie Small.
Nas. You know, Nas, Biggie.
Nas is tight.
They're up there. They're like the greats. You know what I mean? You can't argue. Sorry, I'm not really a big Tupac fan. It's something about like
I love Tupac.
Even he has like to me he has like a more of a West Coast kind of sound to him, and I don't like West Coast rappers like that. So I don't like that sound.
You wasn't a fan of Ice Cube like that.
Not really, except for like you could do it, put your back in it. You know, everybody dance to that.
You got
But,
some hits, though.
but I don't like really. I don't really like that particular sound. So like I'm more favor like East Coast, the East Coast sound.
So you was on East
Little bit
Coast
of Dirty
side. When they
Down.
had the East Coast, West Coast, you was on East Coast side.
Yeah, definitely East Coast. I'm definitely East Coast kind of girl. Yeah. And then Philly, I just been like, I love Philly sound because it's very distinct from New York sound.
Yes.
Like they're like once I heard a Philly rapper, I was like, oh, okay, I see. It's a slight nuance.
Philly is like we say them, we hit them syllables hard.
Yeah,
Right.
and there's a griminess too.
Yeah.
There's a griminess and a grittiness
Tough
to
sound.
Philly that I can relate to because I have an alter ego, you know what I mean, that really resonates with that. So yeah, and we're all shit talkers. I mean, so like we're shit talkers.
Absolutely.
Intellectually, what's one of your favorite books?
My favorite book is Ishmael, and I'm a very spiritual reader.
Yes.
So I'm a Taoist,
Yes.
and so I study Chinese religion,
Yes.
and I'm really into books like that. There's a book by Dan Millman called The Way of the Peaceful Warrior. Really incredible book. I read a lot of stuff, but it ranges from like plays to like mysteries. I like those stupid mystery novels that have the corny names,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And yeah, I mean, just like things that I've read that have just been like really, like I said, like Ishmael, like the Celestine Prophecy. You know, I'm just thinking like, just like there's so much I can't even like right now. I just can't think because it's like there's like so many books that I read that were. Oh, I read a book called shit, what's the name of that book? It was a book. Oh my God, it's escaping me right now. But it was a book about like our history,
Yes.
right? From the Great Migration
Yes.
and everything, from slavery to the Great Migration. And what was amazing about this book was like they were talking about how our people got slavery got Lincoln to create the Emancipation Proclamation through an underground rumor campaign.
Wow.
So it was slaves from different plantations spreading the rumor that we would be free on this date. Now you know that if you're in management and it's going around the entire country that people are going to be free by this date, those people are going to be free by that date come one way or another.
Absolutely.
Because it's now going around. But like it was about how our people set this in place as strategy. And where they created the rumor mill so that ultimately, if the word got around, it would become a reality.
Yeah.
So this, A Nation Under Our Feet is the name of the book. I know it comes to me. It's called A Nation Under Our Feet. And it tells all of those little stories about how smart we actually were. And we don't learn about the history of us being intelligent and being strategic about getting our freedom. And now they're trying to make it so we don't learn anything really about ourselves and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of little things that I've come across over the years that have been really powerful, you know, books and things I've enjoyed.
Absolutely. The way you just described that, it reminded me of It Takes a Nation to Hold Us Back. It would put me in a hip hop mind.
Yeah.
12-Hour Chaos. When he told the story about breaking out of prison and everything, it kind of put me in that mind frame when he was explaining it.
Yeah, and that we organized, like that we were under there organizing. Somebody was brilliant enough, even being prevented from learning and reading and writing. Someone was brilliant enough to strategize, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And like, I'm a strategist, so I'm gonna always respect that kind of thing in our history. I think through things. I can't stop doing it. It's like so much a part of my personality. It's in my genes.
Yes.
That even if I'm doing something like figuring out what I'm gonna do for the day,
Yes.
I'm like, how do I go there, and what's the closest place to, you know what I mean? Like making sure all my errands are happening in a, you know, in a circle. I'm like, I'll wait till Friday to do that because I'm already gonna be over at this place, blah blah blah. Like just strategizing every aspect of my life,
Yes.
which I'm trying to get a little bit better at, like balancing and just giving myself grace and knowing that I don't always have to be the perfect, have the perfect system.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that can be hard too.
Absolutely.
Through your company, Real Mission Inc., what was one of your favorite projects, and what was one of your biggest projects?
Yeah. So, wow, favorite and biggest are definitely different. My favorite project was last year, Philly Got Bars, with hands down. We wanted to address violence
Yes.
with a vehicle people assumed creates violence. And that's a component of a lot of our work, is let's take what people think and fuck it all up for them. You know what I mean? Let's turn everything on its head and show people a different way of thinking about everything. Because I think, you know, I want people to have intellectual curiosity, which is something that like we're moving away from as we become more and more uniform and more like trying to fit in, right?
Yes.
It's that challenging everything that we think. So like we think hip hop is the catalyst for violence, right? What if we took hip hop, which is this thing that young black men of color, 16 to 34, who are most at risk of violence, what if we took the very thing they already love and used it as a vehicle to stop violence, right? And it's not like we're stopping violence by having a hip hop event where they're not censored because they're talking about violence at our hip hop event, but viewing it from the lens of storytelling. They're telling us stuff right now that we could use to solve the problem.
Yes.
And also, what I want people to know is that while those young men were writing rap songs in preparation for our event, you know what they weren't doing? Hurting each other out in the streets and like being engaged in, you know, less than, you know, pleasant activity.
Yes.
So we did succeed in what we did because they were focused on something else, which was winning $2,000 from us.
Absolutely.
At that time. If we can create more opportunities for people to be directed to fulfilling their dreams,
Yes.
and to learning how to start businesses and get paperwork done and pursue their careers and their passion, then we can solve this issue. It's idle time right now
Yes.
that is creating, you know, the challenges that we're seeing. So that's my favorite project. Because I got so many relationships with young men through that we're working together now and things and stuff. So it was real life impact. I could
Yes.
see it from that.
Yes.
I would say the biggest project that we did was back in 2015. It was called Letters to Trayvon, and it was a celebration of black men and boys. And it was right around the time that Mike Brown was killed, and so we were seeing a lot of black and brown men being killed by police officers during that time period, and it made me think about like Trayvon. Like we forgot about Trayvon already. It's like, you know, it hadn't even been that many years, but we were already off of him.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
and it bothered me that we forgot. Right? So I was like, let me remind everybody of Trayvon, because really he was the first one that raised awareness of this issue.
Absolutely.
And so we brought Trayvon's father to Philadelphia. He came to Arcadia to talk about what really happened that night, to share with people the narrative of his son. His son's no longer here to speak for himself, his side of the story. So we had his dad come talk about how he sent him out that day to the store, like, and what he was thinking as his son was leaving, because he's not thinking that this is going to be the last time I'm seeing him. And so we did that. We showcased all black male talent. You would have loved it. We had young black boys who were doing their poetry. And then we had we built a jail cell in the middle of the event. And we had hoodies with all of the stereotypes that black men go by, like deadbeat, criminal, etc. We had one white hoodie on the floor that said innocent, that you had to step around. And the idea of behind that event, like I said, everything that we do is like has a bigger meaning. The idea behind that event was, if I'm a white person here in Arcadia going through this installation, this exhibit, I'm getting to experience somewhat of what it's like to be a black man. There's a guy in a jail cell right now rapping and like coming at me, and I gotta avoid, if I'm a black man, I gotta like dodge that. Then I gotta go by this dead body that's on the ground. And when my head comes up, I'm seeing all these negative terms or whatever that are used to describe me. So it was like to give people the physical experience of being a black man, but in an artistic manner. All of our stuff is like that. It's like is well thought out and like designed to like really change people's perceptions and thoughts about things.
Yeah, that is very, very creative. So, community level. What is Real Mission Inc. doing to combat against gun violence within these towns? How is the company helping?
So our main goal is to do these community projects that are so interesting and so engaging that we get people in. And that's the first part. If you can't get people engaged, then you're dead before you started, right? So the idea is to be good enough. For us to be good enough, for us to take time and actually think through things and to talk to the people who are impacted to find out what they're actually interested in. Because one of the things I've observed, particularly with like older people in the community and people with power, is that they like to talk about young black men. They don't like to talk to young black men. And so they come up with all of these ideas for like ice cream socials and like all these like weird ideas for what they would like to have them do. They're not doing. The ones I know are just the ones that they're trying to live. They're trying to eat right now. You don't have an understanding of the basic needs some of them don't have that are being met. So having extra time to just come and like, there was one event recently that was in a church with the police there, and they were like, I really wish there were more young black. I said, you do realize that like you literally just set up an event where the room is full of officers, and the room is a church, right? And you have a huge Muslim population among young men of color. You just have some people who are just not really involved in the organized aspect of religion. And then the police there as well. They're not coming. What were you thinking? No, you wanted a room that you felt safe in so you guys could sit and talk about all of those people safely, right? So we do stuff where people are at. We go to them, right? We're in the music studios. We're on the streets. Like we're on the block, right?
That's real.
And so that's like important for us. And then once we are around, right? Because you can't just show up and then leave, right? Once we're around and relationships could get developed, and you know that the person that's there is genuine, wants to do business with you, that they know that there's honesty in it, that there's something in it for you and there's something in it for me. Are you down to, while I don't need transactions, a lot of what I do with people is transactional because it's an act of respect. Having the person respect me and what I'm bringing to the table, and showing them that I respect them and what they're bringing to the table. So you notice earlier I said to homeboy, we could do a barter, but I appreciate the concept of you getting bread for your thing too. So just let me know which one, because we're also going to pay because you're valued. You know what I mean? You're valued by us, and we want you to value us too. Like we want to be paid for our work as well, because it costs me money to get this knowledge. So and I just don't want us to, either one of us, to be in a situation where we don't feel like we're respected, right? So Like I said, we're willing to cut certain kinds of deals with people where it's a fair trade.
Yes.
Or if bread is bread and that's what you need from us, then that's the way we're gonna do business. But it's never gonna be no misunderstanding or an uneven relationship where we're asking for a lot from you but we're not giving anything.
Yes.
I actually won't work with someone unless there's something that I can give to them. I won't take on any kind of like agreements with anyone unless I'm giving them something and they're giving me something as well. Like both hands are washing each other.
That's see.
It's like a policy.
That's what business is about. That's what business is about. Real Mission Inc. She doing real things. So LaWanda Horton, Miss LaWanda Horton, we love it. We love it. Do you have any positive closing remarks to the community of young black women?
Young black women. Let me see. I guess I would say, above all else, to thine own self be true. Thou canst not then be false to any man. That's Shakespeare.
That's knowledge right there. Now that's knowledge right there. The young ladies, if y'all don't know who Shakespeare is, y'all need to look him up.
Yeah.
Read some of his work. Check out LaWanda. Where can the people find you at?
The best place to go would be at RealmissionINC on Instagram. And if you hit the link in the bio, you'll see my website. You'll see the track record of work and all the testimonials and stuff. So just in case people thought we just got here, we've been here, and we got the pictures to prove it. They're all in the link in my bio at RealmissionINC on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. At Real Mission Inc. We finalizing up the interview. A great interview. We had a great interview today. Y'all know who it is. King George, the owner of T.Y.I Productions, the curator of Black 31 magazine, and it's all love, always. Peace and love.
You have to elevate your mental to a different plateau so people can understand and feel the words coming from deep within. This is deep rooted to come from the soul. Yeah, and you already know. Reality is the goal.